Hey, what is up guys? I am Xteria, and this is comps to try out in the PBE. In this video, we're gonna cover some pretty strong comps that could potentially be meta when the servers hit live. And if it doesn't, at least you know how these units can work together. With that, we start with our 1-cost reroll comp, Family Reroll. This comp is very straightforward. The other 3 units here that you see, like Echo, Amumu, and Scar, you can add them over time when you level up from 6, 7, and 8. This comp is basically 3 family units such as Powder, Vander, and Violet, and the other units that can synergize with them really well is Draven and Darius. The reason why is because Draven is a pit fighter with Violet, and Darius is a washer with Vander. So basically, these 3 families can also work well with these 2 brothers. So basically, overall, it's just family comp. If you have extra family emblems, you can just throw it on Draven or Darius, and then depending on the current meta of the time, because the PBE servers, it updates very frequently. So it could be either Draven carry or Powder carry or even Violet carry. So it's hard to say which one's going to be the strongest at the time since they update every day. But essentially is you want Violet with Bloodthirster with whatever items. Vander is going to be your main tank, so you just put like Warmongs and then whatever items. Darius could use these gloves or even Bloodthirster. And then Draven is very strong with Last Whisper and then Rage Blade, so you can get extra autos on him. Powder, it takes time to ramp up, so you need Spear Sojourn so she can get up her mana so she can cast her abilities. And then since she takes time to do damage, Archangel Staff would allow her to one-shot things in the board as the round goes on. Another 1-cost reroll that we can do and is very easy to play, which is Lux Zyra Reroll. This comp is very simple because we have 4 1-cost units that we can just roll for and 3 stardom. So the main units would be Lux and Zyra for the sorcerers, and Singe and Aurelia for your frontline, that is Sentinels. Your main tank is going to be Aurelia with Gargoyle Stoneplate and whatever tank items you can find, and your main carry is going to be Lux with Spirit Sojourn, Archangel Staff, and whatever other FP item you can find. And Zyra is pretty decent damage, but more of a CC bot. You want to put Static Shiv on her so she can shred the board, so it can decrease the magic resist, so it makes Lux, Aurelia, even Zyra herself do extra damage. And Singe is a very good +1 since he's a Sentinel, and he also gives attack speed to Lux. And then when you hit level 5, you can throw in Leona because it's a +1 Sentinel, and then when you hit level 6, you can throw in either Ezreal for Academy, depending on the item, you might want it. If not, then you can just throw in another Sentinel like Alawi or even Loris. And then level 7, just throw one or the other out, which one you didn't have in. And then level 8, you throw in Tristana, so you can get Emissary to get extra attack speed on the board. And she also synergizes with Ezreal because she's also an artillerist with him. Now we got our 2-cost rerolls, which is Nocturn and Akali. Honestly, I don't know if you could play this any better than what I see here. This is probably like the best I can make it so far. If you know any better way of playing this, just let me know in the comment section down below. Essentially is 2-cost units such as Akali, Nocturn, and Set. You just 3-star them because they're all 2-cost. And your main carry is going to be Akali or Nocturn. As of right now, I feel like Akali is stronger, so you want to kind of prioritize her with her items, which is like Jewel Gauntlet, Hajj, +1. And then secondary carry Nocturn with Bloodthirster, Edge and Knight, +1. And the rest of these synergies kind of like synergizes together because you get a Mumu in that gives you the Automata for Nocturn. And this is actually really strong for him because it gives him extra damage, extra tank. And Akali is a rebel, so you need 3 units to activate that trait, which is Set, which is your main tank. And Set, his best item to have on him is to have like any tank items such as like Even Shroud to help Nocturne do extra damage, or whatever tank items you can find. And since you need 1 more rebel in, it'll be Vex. She can hold Static Shiv to shred magic resist on the board to make Akali do extra damage. +1 unit you could throw in that would help synergize all this stuff together would be Nunu. Main reason why is because he's also a visionary, which just gives mana for Vex so she can attack more, and also a bruiser with Set. And when you hit level 7, just throw in Garen because it gives you extra stats for your other 2 units, and it also gives you Watcher with Amumu. And when you hit level 8, just throw in Twist of Fate for an extra quick striker, and you don't want to throw in Ambessa because it'll take away your Emissary from Garen. Unless you want to have 4 quick striker, then I guess you could take out Garen and throw in Ambessa if you want. Another 2-cost reroll that we can do is Tristana Urgot Reroll. This is the full version. As you can see, I marked all of them red, meaning because you can put them in later in the game. That leaves us with 3 units, which is our main carries, which is Tristana. And you can put Rage Blade over Spirit Sojourn, but I prefer Spirit Sojourn because I see her like a Kog'Maw unit from last set. Since Kog'Maw works really well with Spirit Sojourn over Rage Blade, I kind of thought Tristana is kind of the same with that because their abilities are really similar. So I would say Spirit Sojourn, Last Whisper, and IE. And then for Urgot, you just put in either these gloves or Bloodthirster and like other like frontline items like Titans or even like Sterax is fine on him. And your main tank's gonna be Rel, since you don't really have a unit that can throw an anti-heal. Sunfire on her is really good. And most of you might be wondering, how do you get to this point then? Because they're so expensive, like these units such as Corki, Ambessa, Rumble, and Garen. You just throw them out later and you can do it like this. And this is a better version of playing this comp at level 6, where you play 4 Sentinel with Leona, Singe, and Aurelia. If you want to, you can transition from this to this comp, but if not, you can make it simple for yourself and you can just play all Sentinel from here on out. It's up to you. You can do either the cap version, or you can do it just the basic version with all Sentinel. Up to our 3 cost reroll, and this is probably one of my favorite comps because it's very powerful and very easy to play. Essentially is Kog'Maw main carry with Scar as the main tank. You can play him any style. You can play him like full tank, you can play him AP bruiser, you can even play him like frontline AD carry style. As if you can see here in this clip, I played him with Bloodthirster, Titans, and Hogs, and it beat an Ambessa 2 and some other unit level 2 that was actually strong as well. So you can play him any style because Scar is just a goated unit. Since he is a tank, he's also technically an assassin, he also stuns, and he also heals himself. This unit is just overkitted. And essentially for Kog'Maw items, you can put Spear Soljins in a death cap, or like double Rage Blade and Gunblade to heal the board. You can play him any style you want. You can play him attack speed, you can play him magic damage. Either one you want, it's fine. And then your secondary carry is going to be Zyra, and you just throw in the basic like 80 items such as like Rage Blade, Last Whisper, IE, Death Blade, Runans, like any of the range 80 items is fine on her. And since Kog'Maw is an auto meta, you need a Mumu that can also be your secondary tank. If you 3-star him, that's good. The rest of the units, you just play all Watcher, and Echo is a Firelight as well with Scar and Zyra, so it's good to have that. If you have a Firelight emblem, just throw it on Kog'Maw. It makes him super powerful. Our other 3 cost reroll we can play is Sentinel Twisted Fate reroll. This is very simple because it's 6 Sentinel only with Twisted Fate, and you have Ambessa to get extra synergies like Emissary, and you also get Quick Striker for Twisted Fate, so you can have extra attack speed. And Twisted Fate's his best items I would say would be like Spear Soljin and any AP items such as Archangel Staff, Death Cap. You can even do Ginsu's Rage Blade or even like Nashor's Tooth, give him extra attack speed so you can cast more, or even Red Buff. And then your main tank's gonna be Loris because he's also 3 cost with Twisted Fate, so you can just 3-star them both. And the reason why you want to throw in Ambessa is because, like I said earlier, she's a Quick Striker. She also gets Conquer with Rel, and she also gives Emissary. For every time you kill a unit, your board gets extra tankier, so this actually works out in the long run. And to think the note here, Singh, you always want to put him on the edge because you want him to get attacked so he can use his ability to give Twisted Fate extra attack speed. The issue with this comp is you kind of have to roll at 8 because you have to fit in Ambessa, so you kind of have to hit level 8 to throw it in. Or if you somehow have an extra +1 at 7, so you can have 8 units in, you can just do that too. And then Ambessa, you just throw in like, you know, the regular basic stuff like Bloodthirster, and then whatever frontline 80 items you can put on her like Titans, Sterax, or whatever. And then when you hit level 9, you just throw in Malzahar or whatever 5 cost unit you want. I prefer Malzahar just because you get Visionary. Onto our 4 cost carry comps. This one is actually really good because it all synergizes together, and even if you can't hit the 5 cost units, you can use substitutes. Essentially is Corki and Heimerdinger, so you get both physical damage and magical damage, and you have a lot of synergies that connect together. So our main carry is going to be Corki with Last Whisper, IE plus whatever item you can find, and then Heimerdinger just needs mana items such as Blue Buff or even like Spear Soljin or even Adaptive Helm, and then whatever AP items. Our main tank is going to be Alawi, like with Warmongs and whatever items you can put on her that's actually good tank items. And then you want to use all these units you see here because Aurelia is a Sentinel with Alawi, and it also gives you Rebel because Ezreal is also a Rebel, and then Rel is just very strong and also Visionary with Heimerdinger, and then Rumble gives you Scrap with Corki, and Jace gives you Academy with Ezreal. A unit that you can put in if you cannot find Jace or Rumble is Leona because Leona is also a Sentinel, and she also gives Academy with Ezreal. And you just throw in a +1 scrap unit for Corki at level 8 if you cannot find Rumble or Jace. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and it's really strong. Finally, for our last 4 cost carry, we finally are going to talk about the strongest comp of the current time of recording, and it's going to be Ambessa. The way how you play Ambessa is you max out emissaries because you're going to play 1 or 4, and you want to put in as much conquers as you can. The units you want to throw in would be Ambessa as your main carry with Bloodthirster, and then I see people like to do Edge and Knight, but I like to do Sterax and Titans. Either one works, as long as you have Bloodthirster and then whatever items is all good. And then you have Mordekaiser as your secondary carry. Relicon's very good on him because he hits the entire board, and Garen's gonna be your main tank, so having an even shroud to debuff armor will make Ambessa do extra damage. And the rest of the units you play is all the emissaries such as Nami and Tristana, and I see people like to use Nocturne over Twisted Fate for extra frontline, but I prefer having Twisted Fate because he does heal the board a little bit. And you throw in Darius, that's also a Watcher with Garen. And you throw in Swain, that's a Conqueror with Ambessa. And on top of that, he is also a Sorcerer for Nami. So you have a lot of synergies here. And when you hit level 9, you just throw in Jace, that gives you Form Swapper to make Swain and Jace extra tankier and do a little bit more damage. If you cannot find a Mordekaiser because he's a 5 cost, don't worry about it. Just find a different Conqueror unit and have Nami hold the Mordekaiser items. Basically about it. That is it for comps to try out in set 13 PBE. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer as fast as I can and to the best of my capabilities. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.